The Twitter question is brought to you by Mark's Jewelers. Mark's Men's Night in Montgomeryville, Thursday night, December 18th. Ray Diddy will be there signed to Eagles Encyclopedia. There'll be some food. There'll be some spirits as well. If Jalen Hurts struggles in the first half Sunday, would you put Tanner McKee in? 62.4% say no. So.
Wow.
Yes.
There you go.
What?
I mean, that's a 40% say yes?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you were looking for it to be the other way. I'm shocked that it's not the
Well,
other way.
I'm just saying, imagine that poll 8 days ago. It'd be 95% no.
It's been edging.
I'm saying 60-40 on would you bench Jalen is pretty wild.
If you would ask the question 6 weeks ago.
And that's Twitter.
The wound is still fresh, man. That was just Monday, man.
Yeah, that was
just 2
bad.
days ago, man.
So
it's still open.
Shady, was this on his podcast where Shady? So Speakeasy.
Yes.
So Shady, it's hard to read Shady. So Shady just let loose on Kevin Patullo. Here's what he had to say.
Is Kevin Patullo doing the best job? Absolutely not. He is not. Is he going to be the offensive coordinator there next year? Absolutely not. He can't.
If he's
be.
back, I'm leaving the Eagles. If Kevin's
Where are you
back,
going, Shady? You're in the Hall of Fame. Your jersey's retired.
take me off.
You can't.
Take me off is crazy.
Nobody's ever asked.
Take me off.
And I'm gonna say it's either.
Take me off.
I'm gonna say,
It's
and
crazy.
Mr. Laurie. Now, anything I need, he gives me. Mr. Laurie, it's either me or Kevin.
Wow.
What do you think the odds Kevin Patullo is the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2026?
70%?
Okay.
75 maybe?
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm hoping he's there just to see how Shady reacts.
Well, they got to pull him off the
Yes,
Hall of Fame.
yeah.
They
You
have
think
to.
they'll do that at halftime,
Yeah.
have a whole ceremony?
They should. They
Kevin
should take
takes
him
it
up
down.
on it.
Yeah.
They should take him up on it. I think the reaction to, at least from the tape nerds on Monday night, has been interesting because they have all been like, they put some great stuff in there. I'm really happy with what I saw.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting back thinking, well, we still only scored one touchdown. We
Yeah.
turned the ball over 5 times. 5 times. I know you keep saying 4.
You could
but it's
debate
5.
2.
You
but
could,
yeah.
right?
From Jalen.
I think to a certain extent, what I guess I'm just surprised that people say that and don't say, "Oh, now I understand why they were doing it the simple way." Not so much. Oh, now I realize why they're doing good plays.
So I heard you say this earlier, and I think I disagree with you if you're saying what I think.
Okay.
I don't think he turned the ball over because of the concepts they ran. I don't think it was they did different things and he couldn't handle it. I mean, if we really want to go through it, the AJ interception I think was a bad pass. I don't think that was right. The Devontae thing, now you could argue he jumped that, but that's a hitch route. It's not like that's some new super complex thing. I'm trying to think which one would you pin on a different throw than he normally makes?
So here
Well, you had the one with a defensive lineman.
Yes, you're right. You're
Right,
right. You're right. He
right.
got tricked on that one.
And I also think there is something to, now this is projecting, who knows, if you are overloading him with more decisions to make throughout the game, he will make bad decisions generally. And I think if that is what they were worried about, I think part of why everything was so simple is because he operates, and has been the history of it. He operates best when they're not. And I think you're right, generally, that pre-snap, he makes good decisions. He can look to see where guys are supposed to be, which play to run. But once it gets going, I think that one of the reasons that you could have seen worse play from him is that they're giving him more to think about once the play starts.
I think that could be true. I think that's a good way to look at it. I mostly agree with it. I do think, though, too, rewatching it was way better than I thought rewatching it. And again, I understand this is a big, how was the play otherwise Miss Lincoln thing, right? They turned the ball over 5 times like that. But if you take those plays out, I actually do think they moved the ball almost the best they have all season. It's the first time all season they've had over 200 yards passing and over 100 yards rushing in the same game. It's the second most yards they've had in a game, right? So I do think that while you are right, he made really bad decisions. And I gave him an F. I gave him an F after the rewatch. If you turn it over that many times and you lose, you deserve an F.
And he was 21 of 40,
no,
right?
but I'm saying I thought he made 5 or 6 throws in that game that were really good throws that he's not made. I just do. I don't throwing it into a space between defenders in a window is not something he does often. And I thought he did a ton of that on Monday night.
I agree that he has the ability to make good throws. but I don't think the ability to make good throws is specific to him, nor does it make every quarterback in the NFL has the ability to make good throws.
I agree with that.
They just do. The difference between the great quarterbacks, the good quarterbacks, the average quarterbacks, and the bad quarterbacks is, I'm not saying they can all make every throw, but is how often you make those great throws.
I agree with you.
And I think it is a mistake sometimes to say, that specifically the Devontae crossing route in overtime, that everyone is falling all over themselves on.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. No.
Yes,
it was a great
throw.
It was a great throw that every good quarterback makes in every game.
So I disagree with that.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, I think you have to take, in addition to the throw, you have to take into account the situation. Sure. It is 3rd and 16.
Yes.
The game is on the line. Like, that is a super elite quarterback throw.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. But it's not. It's not an out of world.
No, it's not like a YouTube highlight throw. But I mean, I'm
Stafford makes that throw looking at a different receiver.
Yeah, and Matt Stafford is one of the best passers of the football that's ever played in the NFL.
Yeah.
So, I agree with you. But I guess what
Jared Goff makes that throw all the time.
Does Jared Goff make that throw on 3rd and 16 with the game on the line? Like, I think you have to factor that into the throw. And the other thing I would say from the game is, while he turned it over when it mattered, I think there's something to be said for the fact that late in the fourth quarter when they had to have it, he had a lot more good plays than he did bad plays. And that, I'm just being honest. And that's why when you look forward, I still think, that's why I had him number 2 in my power rankings. Like, I still think that this is going to be a hard team to actually kill.
You said they had to have a thing. I'm never going to win with you. They had to have it in the second quarter too, and they had to have it in the first quarter.
I honestly do get your point. I
Okay.
honestly do get your point with that. But there is a difference between needing it late in the game. I get your point that they wouldn't need it in the fourth if he did it in the second.
There are quarterbacks that get praised for doing that all the time.
Yes, I agree.
Quarterbacks get praised for that all the time.
I think it actually illuminates one of his issues, is that when he is in that situation, he is not thinking about, oh no, what will happen if.
Yeah, he's just playing.
He's not thinking, he's just playing. But that also shines a bright light on when he's not doing that. And like, I think that's why he's better in hurry up. I think it's why he's better and it is one of his great assets is that he doesn't choke. He's not a choker.
Right.
I don't think he is affected by pressure. I think he thrives in it. But I think one of the things that happen is like when the game requires you to think. Like he overthinks it. That's why he doesn't throw the ball early.
I actually think it's the opposite. Like, I think the way he protects the ball throughout the game has actually been highlighted these past 3 weeks in the fact that they are turning the ball over left and right and have lost all 3 games. They had 4 turnovers in their 8 wins and 11 in their 4 losses, right? So, like, you are right. I think like that 3rd and 16 throw he made to Devontae, I don't think he even attempts that throw in the first quarter, right? And there are positives and negatives to that. The positive is he's not risking the ball in, like, they're winning the turnover, but
That's
it's just
what's
true.
costing them, yes.
And but the negative part of it is they'll never be a consistently great passing offense with a quarterback that is not risking the ball like that.
One thing.
Go ahead.
The negative is they're going to score fewer points. So when they do turn the ball over, they have less of a chance of winning the game, and that's why you want to score more points.
But to be fair, they're top 5 over the past 5 years in points scored. So, like, they are scoring a lot of points.
I'm not talking about the past 5 years. They were 7 last year. They're like 15 this year.
Yeah, this year's been bad.
It's getting worse.
Yeah, yes, I agree. This year,
3
for sure.
consecutive years, it's gotten worse.
Right, but they're not going
4
from
consecutive years.
Right, but they're not going from like 14 to 19 to 24. They've been a top 10 offense. Now you can say
the difference in the points.
Right, like I'm saying, they are scoring points. I get your point. But they are scoring a lot of points.
Well, here's the thing. Where they messed up at is they started caring about style points. They started caring about style points instead of caring about a win as a win. You know, I wish we had Jeff Saturday. Jeff Saturday, he had a nice little rant today on Get Up that was in support of the Eagles, but really also being critical of the Eagles for paying attention to the outside noise. And even some of the inside noise. AJ complaining. The offense isn't meeting the standards. So they put more pressure on themselves to have to be perfect as opposed to just winning football games. They're sitting at 8-2 and should be appreciative of being 8-2 and working to get better, yet all I hear is we're not playing to the standard. A win isn't good enough. It ain't good enough. We need to... What? They needed a reality check by looking in the mirror. Hello, AJ, your offensive line sucks right now. You can't run the football. Your quarterback is who he is. So when you're complaining about what you're doing when you're winning, you're just adding pressure to the situation, and they reacted to that. All of a sudden, they had to start trying to be more creative or covering their own asses by pointing fingers saying, it's not me. I'm not the reason why things aren't going well. I'm not the reason why things aren't going well. And this thing has gone from being 8-2 with the best record in the NFC to being 8-5.
Yeah.
That's all I know. For 3 weeks. They've been playing terrible football. He's become a damn turnover machine for 3 weeks now.
So
because we all wanted style points.
Well, you know I love style points.
We want style points. That's why a win is a win. Bill Belichick would never. You think Bill Belichick would entertain the idea of style points and winning?
No.
No, I agree with you. I do think, though, to an extent, that when their offense was as anemic as it, I agree with you.
They were winning.
I know. I agree with you in all the finger pointing. I agree with the public and anonymous finger pointing. I agree with all that. I think that they were flying so close to the sun that a lot of those turnovers you don't control, right? You don't control the Saquon turnover. You don't try to fumble. There's nothing risky about that. The Xavier Gibson one, even when the ball goes off wide receiver's hands, turns into an interception.
Yeah.
That sometimes turnovers just they even
just
out
the way the ball
to a certain
bounces.
extent,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And when you're not scoring enough points, you're going to be on the wrong side of those eventually. And I think that is, it's sort of where the Chiefs are this year to an extent, that like they weren't scoring enough points. And now, instead of like last year when they were able on the right side of it, now they're on the wrong side of it all the time.
Comparing the Chiefs to the Eagles.
I agree with you largely.
All I'm saying is they were 8-2.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And now they've been playing worse since then.
Yeah.
So Jeremy Fowler wrote in his column today on ESPN.com, this is Jeremy Fowler's words. Some people around the league were starting to think the Eagles might draft a quarterback high in 2026, even before Jalen Hurts' 4-interception performance on Monday. The prediction from these folks, GM Howie Roseman snags a passer on day 2, allowing Hurts to serve as the starter in 26 while having a future starter to develop. Quote, the Eagles will do to Jalen what they did to Carson Wentz, one Eagles industry source predicted. What do you think the odds that the Eagles take a quarterback in the draft in 2026?
No shot.
Ooh.
No shot. With Jalen on the roster?
Yeah.
No shot. They will not do the mistake they did before. Like, it worked out with Jalen, but they drafted Jalen thinking it would not be a huge story, and it consumed the entire team for a year and forced Carson out. Like, there is no shot they are going to draft a quarterback in the first or second round, frankly, even the third round, with Jalen Hurts on the roster and have that guy on the roster all year. No shot.
215. What if they give?
Which means there's a chance that it's going to happen.
Nah, I'm always right. Come on. Now, look, if they trade Jalen, maybe.
No shot.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it could happen depending on how the season ends.
I don't think
I wouldn't do it, but
I don't think they can't have a.
I wouldn't have done it then, but they did it.
There's just I don't know, man.
I think Eliot's wrong. Here's why.
Cut that audio.
Carson. Wentz had that magical 2019 season. Some say
magical.
Hold up.
Magical.
Don't interrupt. Some will say it was more impressive than 2017.
Right. Some would say.
But
who was he thrown to, Ike? Just real quick.
I don't even know.
Right.
Grant Ward, I think of Whiteside. All I know is
first quarterback in NFL history with 4,000 yards and nobody over 500.
There it is.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
He said 4,000 yards feel good right now. But
I'm saying they felt good about him during that time, right? And then he got injured.
Mm-hmm.
And so they decided they couldn't do this anymore without having a quarterback there because Wentz couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
So I say that to say, if this season doesn't end well and Jalen continues to play bad down the stretch, why wouldn't they consider taking a quarterback in the draft? What would make them all of a sudden – they've always been about doing what's best for the team and making the team better. And if they view a player early in the draft at that position that they don't think they can pass over and they want to develop him, it's the same reason why they took Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but so
they fell in love with him at the Senior Bowl, and Doug was like, yeah, we got to have him.
So I think a major difference there is Jalen has been healthy. So like they obviously want to prioritize a backup position, but Carson was missing major time. So you don't right. But also I think they would hopefully learn from their mistake. Like it absolutely consumed the entire year.
But it wasn't a mistake.
I think
it didn't feel good at the time, but ultimately
we've been to 2 Super Bowls in one month.
Yeah, but
I was a Wentz guy, but his play would have determined whether or not it was a mistake. His play validated what they did.
But I think it also impacted his play.
But then that
speaks poorly of Carson.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with you.
That speaks to him.
But I'm just saying, like, I think Jalen.
You think Jalen would crumble?
I don't know if he would crumble, but if they drafted a quarterback in the second round, I think it would be unfair to Jalen. He he just won the Super Bowl last year, and we're talking about benching him or trading him, right? Can you imagine if they drafted someone in the second round? He would get it halfway through the first game, and people would be like, take him out.
So let me ask you this. This play continues down this path. Not 4 interceptions every game, but
he's average the rest of the way.
Yes,
2-2.
And we're out in the first round.
Yeah.
What do you think the offseason talk is going to be?
It's going to be about Jalen all offseason.
Whether they pick a guy or not.
But if they pick a guy, then they are moving on from Jalen. You don't use a second-round pick on a quarterback that's not going to play.
You're not necessarily moving on from Jalen. What it does is maybe it lights a fire under him from things that they want him to do that he is somewhat reluctant to do. It puts him on notice. This is the NFL.
But that speaks that speaks poorly of Jalen then.
Well,
do you have to burn a high-level asset?
It's not burning a high-level asset. It's the Eagles looking out for the best interests of the team. If he is going to continue to be reluctant at things they're asking him to do that could help his development as well as help the overall development of the offense, what are they supposed to do? Continue to be hamstrung by what he is unwilling to do? No, they have to do what they think is best, which is cover their butt.
But a second-round pick is one of the most valuable assets in the entire franchise. So, like, that would be like if I had a car and I wanted to buy another car and I spent $70,000 on it as a backup. Like, I get your point about the benefits of like, making Jalen, like, lighting a fire, all that, but then just trade him. Like, if you think you need to spend a second-round pick on a quarterback just in case, then you don't have the guy. And I would just trade him at that point.
Well, they can do that if that's what they choose to do. I'm just saying, I don't think it's unfair to Jalen. It's disrespectful to Jalen. This is how the Eagles have operated as an organization, and they have been proven right.
But the difference between Carson and Jalen is Carson had never won a playoff game and was hurt all the time. Jalen is the best quarterback in franchise history.
Yes, and from the Eagles' viewpoint, do you think they believe he's put the franchise on his back, or they put him in a great position to succeed?
I think the second one.
Okay, then.
Right.
So they believe that they are the reason that he has the status that he has. They built the team around him. He has benefited from that. What I'm saying is, if they have any doubt in their mind about moving forward, if there's a quarterback there for them to take and they think that they should take him, it isn't disrespectful to Jalen. Now, Jalen may feel that way, but this, again, is the NFL. This is the NFL. And they are the Eagles, and they have enough standing within the community, within the football community, and this fan base that will at least, they will understand, listen, they must be thinking something there if this is what they've chosen to do. Again, they've been right when making these tough decisions, whether it's a head coach or a quarterback, whether we agree with it or not, no matter how much noise has been, their track record has been proven right. They were right to take Jalen Hurts, and I was one of the biggest proponents against it. But 2 Super Bowls later and a Super Bowl win and an MVP says they were right.
So, look, ultimately,
they were right.
The result,
am I right about this or not?
Yes.
The
right. So the result is the result, right?
Yes.
And ultimately, that is maybe the best pick Howie Roseman will ever make, right? But the process of it was flawed, and the process of it was wrong. And if they did it to Jalen again, it would be not learning from their mistakes. It would be disrespectful to Jalen because it would completely crater the entire year. He'd have to deal with distractions.
You know what?
Hold
on.
But it would.
No. Time out.
It cratered 2020.
You know how it wouldn't crater the entire year?
How?
Is if Carson Wentz was better, then it wouldn't have cratered
but
anything.
It's part of the reason Carson struggled.
No. Then what is it? What has happened from Carson since?
He's been terrible.
Okay, you think it's just because they took Jalen Hurts?
No, I think I think in 2020 the Jalen Hurts thing was a massive
Kill
distraction.
Carson's career?
Yes. Well, I think I think
because he wasn't good enough.
I think it killed his career. Here,
it's because he wouldn't listen to his coaches.
If you draft a quarterback in the second round, then just trade Jalen. Just trade him.
The truth is like, you know what crushed him is what ultimately might crush Jalen. He had no support within the locker room. He wouldn't listen to his coaches. He didn't evolve. He got worse. All those things. The Eagles score fewer points in 23 than 22, fewer points in 24 than 23, fewer points in 25 than 24. Like, if you know what would, you know when there wouldn't be a conversation next year is if Jalen Hurts goes in there, balls out, everybody will say, we're going to get some, we're going to be able to.
This is going to get louder.
But what I'm saying,
if the play doesn't change on the field,
right,
this noise will get louder.
I agree with you, but it'll get a fever pitch of loud if you draft a quarterback. So here's my thing. If they don't think Jalen is good enough, if they want to light a fire in him, if they think he's gotten worse every year, then just trade him. But to bring a quarterback in the second round basically just creates a massive distraction. It is unfair to what Jalen has accomplished because you know what it's going to be like for him. All year, it's going to be about the backup quarterback. All year. That's what every question at OTAs. Every question. Can you imagine me tracking the training camp stats of the backup quarterback? Like,
yeah, you're going to do that anyway.
Of course I will. You can check them out on all my socials. Think about that.
And they've been validated.
They have been validated once again.
God.
They've once again been validated.
I'm just telling you, they to me, I don't want them to do it. I'm just saying they've earned the right to do that. And not to be vilified for doing what they think is best in the best interest of the organization. If they think taking a quarterback there, then Jalen, guess what? Buck up.
That can be true, but it can also be disrespectful to Jalen, and then just trade him.
You know what it's going to be the same as? If they decide that Kevin Patullo is not the guy, and they're going to
take a running back and be disrespectful to actually the guy who won you the damn Super Bowl.
Well,
that's right.
That is what it is. Like,
it would be disrespectful to say.
The running back is different, I think.
And you know what? If they decide that Kevin Patullo is not the right offensive coordinator, and Howie decides I'm going to go get the offensive coordinator that I'm going to deal with, then that's disrespectful to Nick. And you know what Nick's going to do? Nick's going to coach and have the offensive coordinator that they
completely different than the Jalen
It's really not.
It really is.
Because people were saying the same thing about Kellen Moore being the head coach here as soon as they hired him for offensive coordinator. And you know how Nick responded? Nick responded by taking his team to the Super Bowl. He didn't cry about it. He just he produced. So if they pick a quarterback and Jalen Hurts produces, nobody will care. They'll say, look, we have a trade chip.
Well, then where I would agree with you is it would be disrespectful to Nick to hire a candidate that you think could be a potential head coach. Nick and Jalen.
They did that last year.
No, they were never going to replace Nick with Kellen Moore. That is so different. Hiring an offensive coordinator
off of 23.
Hold on. Hiring an offensive coordinator is so different than using a second-round pick.
Not an offensive coordinator that is a head coach candidate that the head coach didn't pick.
A second-round pick is maybe is probably actually the second most valuable asset in the franchise.
Look at how Drew Makuba saved the season.
Well, they blew the pick, but
all right.
His play better pick up.
I agree, but if it doesn't and you draft a quarterback, then just trade him. Like having them both on the roster at the same time would crater the year.
Well,
it's not going to crater the year.
Well, they've done it one time and it cratered the year.
And it got him a Super Bowl. 215.
And they kind of lucked into that.
All right.
Wow.
Well, I'm saying the process of getting Jalen was flawed. Like they tried to trade him after 21. Like Jalen became a better player.
All right. 215-592. Yeah, the same guy. All right. 215-592-9494. Thank you, Elliot. You can get the Go Birds podcast wherever you get your podcast. ESPN tonight at 6. Go Birds Evenings with Eliot Shorr-Parks, and his special guest this week is Brandon Lee Gouton of Bleeding Green Nation. Thank you as always, Elliot. You managed to do it. You took a while, but you managed to do it.
Great
contract for Kyle Schwarber. Very happy for him.
Yes, I'm sure.